urban design and architecture. I hope all the sessions are interesting and knowledgeable. So the topics which we covered yesterday was nature of land and ground surfaces, thermal inertia of different material, man-made and green surfaces, method to increase percentage of surfaces with green cover, street pattern and orientation, use of solar chart, direction-wise land use planning, plantation along the roads and around the buildings. And the session was then concluded with the discussion on plot layout and staggered development. So, continuing with these topics, will I now welcome our resource person, Dr. Ravi Kumar Bhargav sir. Sir, we'll start with the session. In case any of you having any questions, please put it in question and answer block. Thank you so much.
Okay, good morning, friends. Please, or you might have seen also in one of our friend yesterday wanted to know how to protect our foundation. At that time, I said it is beyond the scope of that, but that question I have answered in our group. You might have seen it. Okay. Now, today we will start. Yesterday, we were also discussing about the plantation. So, friend, just keep in mind that if you need very close plantation at close proximity of the building, that might create problem because roots might affect substructure, that is foundation, etc. So minimum gap, no tree should be planted less than 3 meters, preferably more. But when you require, even then, they should be planted if possible in zigzag manner. But you want a close proximity, whatever might be the reason, green elements, then go for creepers and vines. Creepers, etc., can be utilized very effectively. We will see later on also. And friend, one more thing I would like to mention before I proceed further, that many of us think, suppose our building is located on a highway, which generate lot of noise. As we all know, we are all aware of that our streets generate lot of noise compared to streets in other part of the world. Because in other part of the world, no doubt, horns are there in the vehicle, but they are very rarely used in emergency only. Whereas we are using horns very frequently. So our streets generate lot of noise. So friend, if you want to use green elements like trees as a barrier against noise, then friend, simply by planting a row of tree towards highway will not solve the problem. Just keep in mind, if you want to reduce the level of noise through green elements, there has to be thick plantation around 100-meter wide belt of trees must be there to make it effective. Okay, friend? Simply a row of tree will not help. Okay, friend, I will proceed further. And yesterday, whatever we have discussed in continuation with the same, let us discuss compound wall. All of us know, suddenly for last, say, a decade or more, suddenly we have started high compound walls. Nowadays, the height of compound wall is much more than we used to have earlier. The reason might be security or some other reason, I do not know. But friend, this high compound wall unfortunately deprive ground floor with normal ventilation, airflow, view, etc. etc. So this high compound wall, as far as possible, is not preferable. We must try to avoid it. Then what could be the solution, friend? Avoid solution might be provide opening or perforation in compound wall. Provide upper part of the compound wall with grill, RCC jali, or other such elements. Provide railings, mesh with suitable design, etc., instead of solid compound wall, particularly in the upper part. Then, friend, I prefer and recommend provide suitable wire fencing and plant thin hedges around the building. or on the plot. This will, because of the presence of barbed wire, this will provide security also. And with the green element, whatever advantages we have, you are already aware of. And this won't block totally normal ventilation and airflow. Okay, so this shows on the, if you can see the right hand side bottom sketch or diagram, it shows that solid compound wall will lift the air movement and lift the air upward, depriving the ground floor. But if you have the perforation in the compound wall in the form of grill or other form, that will be preferable. And we must go for such solution. Secondly, in case of buildings also, for example, high-rise building, large wind shadow is formed. Then solution is to provide, as the diagram, bottom diagram on the left hand side shows, punches to reduce the impact of wind shadow towards leeward direction. So these are the solution. And even high rise or super tall building, we know such free floors are very much required to locate, to provide our services at every 8th floor, every 10th floor, etc. And they are referred or called service floor or mechanical floor. They can also be utilized to let to, they can also be utilized as a passage for normal air movement or wind. So these are the solution. One more, the left hand side top sketch. This is a plan. In plan, friends, wherever we have projection of the wall beyond the side wall plane, whenever they are projection, for example, we have other type of projections also in the form of louvers, fins, etc., for various reasons. But the problem with such projections is that they will deprive or they will divert the normal wind away from building, depriving the building from the advantages of convective cooling. You see, friend, when wind or air flows touching the surface or touching the external facade of the building, when building comes in contact of moving air, lot of heat from the surface will be absorbed by the moving air or wind and providing convective cooling to the external surface. But when such wind is drifted away from the building will be deprived of advantages of convective cooling. So, what suggestion we have, friends? What solution we have, friends, to solve this problem? We can have projection also, and even we want that air movement must be along the external wall and must come in contact with the wall so that convective cooling will be effective. Many times, friend, we have balcony projections, and even balcony many times are enclosed from the sides also. We have balcony side. Many times we have sort of RCC box around the opening or windows. All these elements drifted the wind flow away from the building. Then the solution is provide whatever is possible, we are required to adopt. Whatever is not possible, go for some other solution. Provide a slit between the main wall and such projection. Then make punctures in such projections. There could be RCC grill, there could be louvers, and there might be similar other solutions so that moving wind will come in contact with external surface of the building. Then, friend, let us discuss shape, form, external surface or envelope of the building. Friend, just keep in mind, larger the surface area, external surface area or envelope of the building will increase heat gain and so also heat dissipation. Then, friend, larger the volume of the building will require more energy either to heat it or to cool it. In our case, we will pay more attention towards cooling. But in other regions, heating might be required. Larger the volume, more energy in the form of heating or in the form of cooling is required or needed. So, friend, our objective should be to select and adopt such form of the building which will generate less SV, that is surface to volume ratio. It should be less. In other simple word, we should go for such form of the building that will enclose maximum volume, maximum space with minimum surface area, so that less heat gain will be there and less energy will be required to cool down. Okay, friends. So we can adopt the possible shapes and form of the building after analyzing all the different forms and shapes normally available to choose from. For example, we can select different geometrical shape as a plan for the building with same or similar area. Area of all the form, all the shapes must be same. For example, we can have decide that each form, each geometric shape, when we select them as a plan of the building, is 100 square meter. We can go for any area, not necessarily we should go only for 100, but it will be easy for calculation if we have round figure. So let us assume all the building forms have 100 square meter. Various shapes are here. You can see geometric shape. So, friend, with 100 square meter of uh, area, different forms we can study and analyze. Then let us have also the fixed height for each shape. For example, let us decide that all the shapes 100 square meter area and the height could be 10 meter, 15 meter, 20 meter, whatever you decide. Then in addition, there could also be pyramidal shape or conical shape, etc. Why we need height? So that we can calculate both surface area and volume. And then we find out which shape or which form of the building encloses maximum volume with minimum surface area to select from. Okay, friend. Then my study suggests that after comparing all the different shapes, etc., these are the various shapes we have. Then order of preference of different plant form is as follows. The plant form that will enclose maximum space with less or minimum surface area. Then press always remember. Sometimes the most preferred plant form may not be possible to adopt because practically it might be little difficult to use it depending on the functional use of that building. If possible, go for it. If not possible, go for second best. If that is also not possible, go for third. Because ultimately, may not be up to that extent, but some benefits will always be there, even in third or fourth. So, preference should be for most preferred, that is first in hierarchical order. So, my analysis shows that most preferred plant form should be circle. Now, friend, many of our building, for example, I will mention, all of you must have seen that building, that is Nehru Science Center in Worli, Mumbai. That is circular in a high-rise structure, multi-story structure with a circular form. Then our parliament. Then many of our, you must have seen assembly hall, etc., auditorium, etc., are circular in shape. Okay, so if you find that this shape will form, is can fulfill functional requirement, then go for this. Second is hexagon. Third is elongated circle, that is combination of rectangle, square, or and semicircle. Then aspidal, then octagon or square. Fifth will be, these are more or less same performance. Then you have rectangle, and last triangle. As far as possible, avoid triangle unless and until you have sufficient justification that yes, even triangle form I can utilize properly without any loss of or generating negative spaces. So, friend, these are the recommended form work for plant which will result in less SV, that is surface to volume ratio. Then, friends, let us decide about, this is plant form, and then I hope you all will agree. As the sun moves from east to west in general, temperature increases with the time. And when sun, after late morning, temperature go on increasing. Noon it is much more. Then afternoon further more. Then the time comes when it is maximum, and it retains for an hour or two. And after that, slowly the ambience cools down and temperature starts reducing. So, friend, why not to build, to go for such form and shape of the building that will follow the sun and its from east to west with maximum protection needed in critical months, that summer season, critical time of the day around 3 p.m. So position of the sun in critical months and critical time of the day will be most important. Other than summer, you must experience even national period, that is the time between two seasons, is also comfortable. For example, after rain season, October are also uncomfortable. That is always in between, the period in between two seasons is also uncomfortable. In general, at that time, the position of the sun during when we experience maximum temperature, daytime temperature is in the southwest. So these two seasons, most priority is the summer season. Next priority to the period, that is period between two seasons, must be in mind to decide our shape and form. And our main objective here should be to take advantage of mutual shading. That one part of the building should shade other part of the building up to the extent possible during high temperature. Is it clear, friend? That should be our objective. So, friend, my studies shows that if you can see the diagram clearly, My study shows that when sun moves from morning to evening, then late morning position, noon position, afternoon position, evening position. And what I am suggesting, we are required to take maximum advantage of mutual shading so that some part will always be in shade, some part will be partly in shade, but at least we can locate our prime functional spaces in that portion, which will be for most of the time in shade. So friend, as I told, maximum protection is needed from west as position of the sun during extreme summer will be toward west. So you can make out maximum height of that part of the building where which is towards west. The west part of the building, extreme western part of the building will be with maximum or more height. Then this is a plan form with built-up area all around a open courtyard. You can make out in the center there is a open courtyard. Then the building portion towards south is in the form of steps. The portion as you move towards east from west, the building height goes on reducing. Then again, from south to north, if you move, again there are sort of steps and building height goes on reducing from south to north with minimum height in north portion because minimum heat is required. Minimum heat gain is from that side. So this will result, western side will shade the part in front of it towards the east. That part will shade again that part of the building which is at lower height, at lower level, with less height toward east, and so on. So friend, my study and my analysis suggest this form will result into less heat gain because we are taking the advantage of mutual shading. Then yes, FSI to consume whole FSI, you want more height, it can be increased. Western part will be more height. Then as you move toward the east, height should be reduced. Then that is not the issue. That how it will be possible to consume complete permissible FAR, that is possible. Friends, then also if you keep in mind the position of the sun toward or in transitional period. That time during afternoon at the time of maximum daytime temperature, sun will be towards southwest. So keeping the same plan or same shape, that's when how we can protect even a plant or that friends. We can extend the west extreme western part towards south side. Extend western part of the building towards south side. That means whatever is the front portion, front I am calling eastern part. Next part will be slightly project out towards south. Then next is extreme western part. As we proceed towards west, each part of the building should project out little more towards south to provide mutual shading on the facade of the portion of the building which is in its front. I will show you this in another slide. You see friend here. Here the position of the sun in transitional period during afternoon, and you can make out how each part of the building as we move from east to west is projecting out with more height towards south to shade the part of the building and the facade with lesser height in front of it towards east. So this is, after this study, this is the resultant shape and form of the building. This one, which we have earlier seen, and this is an improved version of the same plan with projecting the western part towards south with more height. So friend, this way you can also always conduct your own study. In my study, I have suggested this form with the view to take advantage or maximum advantage up to the extent possible of mutual shading. Different in warm transistors, this we have already discussed, and it is same thing with the increased height on the building on both sides of the road. Okay, this is important. This we have already discussed. What I suggest, I will first, instead of reading here, I will try to show you the slide. This, you see, friend, I have already, we have discussed and suggested odd and even formula for the side and front margin for the plots. So, for example, even plot numbers will have less side margin. Odd numbers, plot numbers will have more side margin. So, wherever even number, two opposite side building on both sides of the road, they will be comparatively closer to each other. Friend, in that portion, what I have suggested to shade road surface from hot sun, particularly when there is no, our orientation of the road is such which will provide more exposure to the road surface, to the solar radiation. What we can do, floor wise, we can, each floor will be projecting out say 1 meter to 2 meter depending on the situation, etc. Cantilever projection. Every floor will project out. And the top floor from both the sides. Friends, you know that during earthquake, cantilever projections are dangerous or rather very dangerous because center of gravity is disturbed in such projection when we have. To keep this structure balanced, the solution is at the top. Each floor is projecting out. At the top, we can provide and connect both the buildings with lattice girder, that is also called N girder, or with space plate. Then if you want, this this frame will act as a support in between two buildings and they will mutually support each other. Both the buildings will mutually support each other and structurally making both the building more stable. This is possible with less front margin. Where you have more front margin, leave it. So when you are using, commuters will experience shaded area, then area which is exposed to sun, with sun. Again shaded area, then portion in sun. That can, and if you want, this can be shaded, even can be made more effective with creepers. If you have some green element here like creepers or vine, it can be made more effective. This is one of the solutions which I have suggested. Then for friends, you all have experienced that some of our cities earlier, it was a major, it was a main feature of the building on particularly on commercial roads. This I have seen building on both the sides are with walking arcades. They are covered here. The footpath or part of the footpath is covered by building. And advantage of this, that everyone, the pedestrians are always in shade. Unfortunately, in our new towns, new cities, we are not adopting this feature. or unknown reason, but this was a very good feature in my opinion, and it provides lot of comfort to pedestrians. So this must be incorporated. Whether you go for a fort area in Mumbai, DN Road, all the buildings are like this, which are lot of footpath shopkeepers are there selling various. Similarly, happen in Calcutta if you move on Chaurangi Road along the say for example the front portion of Oberoi Grand Hotel. All there you have all these walking arcades and pedestrians always walk in shade. Cannot place in Delhi. Pedestrians walk in shade because of walking arcade. Mount Road extension or even Central Avenue in Nagpur. Pedestrians walk under shade through this walking arcades. This is a very good feature, and I do not know why we have given up or we are not adopting these features, but I recommend it should be retained to increase or to minimize increase comfort and minimize heat gain and for comfort of pedestrian. Then, when we have inward-looking plan with central courtyard in the center, this central courtyard can be made more effective by allowing or making the presence of water there. In normal residential building, if you have cleaning and washing activities, if you allow to dry clothes there, it will ensure presence of moisture. When exposed to heat, evaporation will be there and the tap coolated will become more good. Secondly, friend, what we can do, we can cover this from the top using trellis or pergolas, etc. to cut off sun rays up to the extent possible so that this courtyard will not be heated or it will be less heated. Then friend, this we have small water pond can be provided. If possible, provide fountain in water pond. Then another important thing is it should not be too large. This open space, open central courtyard should not be too large. A thumb rule is there that keep one side of the such open courtyard in the center or width or the breadth of this courtyard should be less than the height of the building. So please, some of the measures we can adopt to make it more effective. One more measure. The roof of the building around this courtyard should be slightly sloping towards courtyard, toward inside, because heavy air, sorry, cool air during the night, which will settle, some part will settle in this cannot escape because building where they will find passage through the windows in the functional spaces around. But whatever cool air will settle because of the slope, it will slide down in this courtyard. So it is beneficial to provide slight slope in the roof toward such courtyard. Then friend, we can even study and analyze different shape forms, different shape and form of roofs. Because just keep in mind, I have given always I have given the references for more information, more knowledge. Again, I am telling you, CBRI has a wonderful publication. And for your college library or for your own personal collection, you can obtain this on nominal cost. Friend, maximum heat gain in any building is through roof. Almost 50% of the heat gain is through roof. Yes, it is more in summer. That is the period when we should give maximum priority and we need maximum protection. So here forget about winter. Don't consider winter at all. consider only summer conditions, and then you can see the various east and west have same percentage of heat gain. East and western facade, because vertical walls have more heat gain when sun is perpendicular or normal. Sun rays are normal to the facade. It happens in the morning, in the evening, before sunset. That is in the afternoon or late morning also. Okay, so these walls, eastern and western, will have. So we are required to protect. There are several measures: judicious utilization of green elements, judicious use of shading devices, etc., to shade our different facade, particularly from where we have more heat gain. But friend, always remember, whatever irrespective of the orientation, roof is always exposed to solar radiation. Whatever irrespective of uh, if you have that, because आप कहीं भी घुमा लीजिए, roof will be exposed to solar radiation. But when you have sloping roof, when you have lean-to roof, either with gable end or without gable end, only one part of the roof will be exposed to sun. Remaining part of the roof will be in shade, bearing summer moon condition when sun is above your head. At that time, whole roof will be exposed. Otherwise, when you have a sloping roof, one part will be exposed, another part will be in shade. This happens also when you do not have roof. Why? Because it provides you to go for chance or scope for vertical expansion. Suppose you want to add one more floor, two more floors. It is possible only when you have flat roof. In case of lean-to roof, you will have to remove that before you undertake any construction above. Is it not? So, friend, but we can analyze different type of shape of roofs and study heat gain. Then we can come to conclusion which shape is more preferred, which shape should be avoided. Okay, friend. So I have studied. I have my own study. Then various type of I have classified roofs into two groups. One is roof with gable end. You know, at the end where roof is sloping, and wall is also in triangle shape, following the roof of shape of roof. And at the end, many times trusses are not required because purlin will be resting over walls. That end in triangular shape is called gable end. I hope you all know. I did not take it. Sorry. Then roof without gable end. Okay, one type roof with gable end, another type roof without gable end, and I have studied various roof forms under these two categories and come to conclusion that this form is more suitable. Friend, we have already discussed roof. All this will be tilted normal, maybe sometimes normal to the depending on the position of the sun in the hemisphere of the sky, but mostly they will be tilted. We have already discussed how to calculate intensity of the heat on tilted surfaces. We have already discussed. You can use those and find out the heat gain by different roof forms. Then all these other than flat are advantageous in a sense that compared to flat roof, these roofs stop the sun rays much before. Yes, because there is a these roofs are at more the pitches at much more height, and we can have false ceiling here or attic floor, additional floor, and false ceiling always helps in catching or in restricting the radiated heat inside, radiated from roof. at a given time except at noon in summer, complete roof surface is not exposed to solar radiation. With these we have already discussed, friend. This is hipped roof. Okay, this does not have cable end. This is pyramidal roof. This will not have cable end. Yes, this is similar roof or shape roof with gable end will be the shape of roof form, that is semicircular or elliptical, or there could be whole roof also in the same form. Then we have dome. Then we have north light truss, or if the slope is sloping towards north, then we have south light truss. So also in case of shell roof, where we go this type of roof for north light, for providing glazing in the vertical portion of the roof. Friend, if you want to see this, particularly for those students who are from Nagpur, go to LIT and study their Lakshmi Narayan Institute of Technology and see their workshop. Their workshop building are this type of north light roof. Okay, friends. So different we can study and analyze the heat gain from different type of roofs. Now let us see. This is north side slope where glazing will be on south side. Normally we go for north light glazing. Why? Because we get diffuse light without much problem of the sun from north side. So normally we adopt north light. But here if you study, if you see the position of the sun during May, in both the cases, the angle of the sun, solar altitude angle, and even the angle of solar incidence will be same, only direction will be different. But take the position of the sun in other warm period, that is in September or October, that is the period I referred as a transitional period between two seasons. In this case, from if you study south light roof, the rays are not normal or near normal to the roof, but here, in case of north light truss, the sun rays will be either normal or near normal to the roof surface, resulting in more heat gain. As a result, I recommend that south light, though danger of more heat gain or entry of direct solar radiation inside from the south direction will be there. But I advocate, I suggest, and I recommend go for south light roof rather than north light roof, because through roof less heat gain will be there. Yes, with provision of using suitable shading device without affecting level of daylight which you need. When we go for north light or south light, when your daylight level is not sufficient and you need additional light, like in industry or some other purposes also, large halls, etc., you go for this type of light. So with suitable shading device to protect sun, protect interior or entry of direct solar radiation from south sun, please adopt, or as far as possible try to adopt, because it has more benefits south light rather than north. The similar study, friend, you can do for lean-to roof, for shell roof, and other type of roof, and study what is the heat gain. Then, friend, here I will go back to the earlier slide afterwards. My inferences are what I have, conclusion I have derived. Gable roof will result in less heat transfer inside compared to roofs without gable. High pitch lean-to roof, like we have old churches, etc., with very high pitch of the roof. High pitch gable roofs will be more effective as roof surface is inclined to sun rays during noon and afternoon. But the problem is that much space In high pitched roof goes waste. That volume of space goes waste unutilized. So I have my own suggestion with you. I suggest that this roof is more suitable for, but how to utilize that space? We have solution. Then creating or providing, this is the solution, creating or providing additional floor within the roof pitch can compensate increase in cost of the high pitch. Then again, top portion of the roof below the ridge may be utilized for locating our overhead water tank. This upper stage frame, this is a regular floor. Then high pitch roof, if you have, there is lot of space available within the roof. Provide another floor in that space, and at the top, that triangular portion which we are available, try to provide your water tank over there, because location of the water tank above the roof will have added advantage in reducing the heat gain or lessening the temperature at the floors below. So this is my suggestion. You, after your study and analysis of different roof forms, you may come out with better solution. But important thing is, brother, my solution is not important. Solution is, or whatever solution I am suggesting is not important. Important thing is you must know how to proceed, how to find out, how to analyze. It will always, so that you can take some important decision. So method we must know, then decision, then you can find out more than one solution. Then friend, what I am suggesting is, we are discussing external surfaces. Okay, friend, to reduce the heat gain, we have already discussed SV ratio, etc. To reduce heat gain from surfaces which are exposed to solar radiation more duration of time, particularly when sun is in that direction from where maximum heat gain is expected, that is west, southwest. Particularly those, in addition, we can have same treatment in other walls also, like southern wall, etc. If possible, also go for eastern wall and north wall. But in general, these eastern wall is more safe. Northern wall is maximum uh, safe from heat gain. What I am trying to suggest here is, provide textured surface. Different type of plasters are there. Pebble dash plasters are there, where you have pebbles on the surface. Okay. Then you can go for uh, sand, double coat sand phase plaster with sand particles on the surface mixed with cement. Then friends, you can even have grooves, horizontal grooves on the external facade in plaster. You can project out alternative layer of brick to 3 inch or 5 to 10 centimeters beyond the wall surface. All these measures, or you can have continuous shading devices, little level or at other level. All these measures will result into shading of quite a large surface area. By adopting various measures, lot of surface area we can bring under shade. Because any projecting out, whether it is particle of sand or pebble or grooves, will have shaded portions below it. So it will be considerable reduction in direct heat gain, because direct heat gain will only be from that surface which will be exposed to solar radiation. But heat dissipation in the form of long wave radiation during evening and night will be from total surface. So we are increasing in a form surface area by providing all these, incorporating all these measures, and trend, reducing increasing the area exposed to sun. So these measures particularly towards hot direction, particularly for example even color. See to it friend that you go for, now we architects are very much fond of experimenting with different colors. No, no problem. You can certainly go for it to create interesting elevations, etc. No one like ugly things. Everyone that is inbuilt, that is in our nature, everyone prefers beautiful or buildings with a high aesthetical value. Just keep in mind, go for dark shades in that facade for those facades which are facing cool direction, like east, north, southeast. But use light colors, particularly when the facade is facing hot direction. Okay, friends? This will be beneficial and result into ultimate result is considerable saving in artificial energy. This we have already discussed. Then hierarchical order after my study. Hierarchical order of preferred group form is number one hip group, number two pyramidal group, hemispherical dome, semicircular board, south light lean to roof, north light lean to roof, south light shell roof, north light shell roof. This is the hierarchical order in order of preference. We can go keeping in mind our limitations, etc. There are always architects always works, always design with lot of confidence. Is it not? Generally, we never have free hand to design whatever we want. Lot of limitations are there. So keeping in mind, adopt whatever is possible. This is the hierarchical order or preferential order. Then, friend, let us study openings. Openings are very important part of the building, so also shading devices. And just remember one thing. As far as openings are concerned, if I ask you a simple question, then which type of opening should be considered as most suitable or best suitable, or which type of opening should be preferred most? Then generally the answer is yes. I will be continuing. Yes, I will be stopping after this and do this. The general answer is sir, sliding window are best. Someone come out, no sir, the section window. Someone says sir, pivoted window, centrally pivoted window, or someone says sir, normal side cam, top hung windows are best. No, I don't. This is not the justified. You see, the type of window control any given time on most of the climatic elements, because what happens is it is all of us experience. For example, we want ventilation, we want view, but we want to stop solar radiation. We want air movement at body level. We do not want rain to enter inside. Even when we don't want ventilation, cool condition, but we want ventilation to not be affected and daylight should not be affected. That means role of the window is to welcome and allow favorable climatic conditions, favorable climatic air, at the same time block unfavorable, that is too club. This type of control, the window The type of window that provides this type of control must be considered as most suitable. So what we can do, friend, after an after different type of windows and after studying and analyzing role and performance of different type of windows can say or recommend which is and make a hierarchical order most second most suitable, most suitable. But for that we must study the various functions we expect our openings or windows or fenestrations to perform. And with this, I will stop here. In case any question, please let me know when I start after 5 minutes. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. After 5 minutes, we will meet again.
Hello?
I'm back, madam.
Yeah. You can start, sir, as there is no questions. So you can continue.
Okay, friends, should I start? Do you have any questions?
No, sir. There are no questions. You can start with the session, sir.
Okay, there are no questions.
No, sir.
Okay, friends, as we discussed, ability to control various climatic elements, that is, allowing favorable elements and blocking unfavorable ones, measures performance and effectiveness of a fenestration opening or window. Then normally these are the types of window which we can go for: side hinge or normal sashes window, or side hung. Number two, top hinge or top hung window. Normally this type we use as a ventilator. Then vertically centrally pivoted window. Then horizontally centrally pivoted window. Again, this type we normally use for ventilators, but can be used as a normal window also. There is no restriction as such. Then top sliding window and side sliding window. Top sliding window in other countries, particularly Western countries, are used commonly. In our case, these type of windows are used in railway coaches, railway compartment, top sliding window. Then this side sliding window should be a type of window which is most commonly used nowadays with aluminium as a material. Most commonly used window nowadays with panel, glazed aluminum sliding window are most commonly used nowadays. Then side sliding and folding window. Yes, particularly this term is used for large openings where we have doors, sliding and folding doors. Okay. Then adjustable horizontal louvers. The louvers could be transparent material glass or could be solid opaque material. Then adjustable vertical louvers. Generally, we use these type of windows. Then the factors affecting design of fenestration are depending on their role. So why we use windows? Why windows are provided in the building for natural light and sun? Yes, during winter or during morning season. Then wind, most preferable element, generally bearing when there are hot wind during summer. Then ventilation, yes, very much required for our survival. Then rain, it is to be blocked. These are the parameters we will judge effectiveness and performance. Then security, yes, window must provide security, particularly nowadays security has gained a lot of importance. No outside intruder should be there through window. Then yes, you see friend, windows or openings act as a link, both physical and visual, between uncontrolled or conditions outside, between outside and somewhat controlled or uncontrolled, whatever the case may be, conditions inside. It provides a link, so plays a very important element of a building. So friend, view is also important. Then it must provide required level of privacy. Then it must be easy to operation, should not be too complicated. Then flexibility must be there so that one can lock one element at the time, allow another element, favorable element, and yes, at the end, cost also a major factor, which will have its own effect and influence in design and fenestration of the window. It should not be too costly. Then, friends, preferred hierarchical order of fenestration. This, what I suggest, this is after my analysis. What I have analyzed based on these functions. These are the functions. Let us make a matrix. List one below another all these functional elements related to window. Now, for example, how many elements are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Suppose here 11, 12 or 10 elements are there. Then, in case there are 10 factors, give 10 weightage to each factor. 11 include 11, 12 include 12 factors, whatever it is. Just I am assuming, suppose 10 factors are there, give 10 weightage to each factor. Total weightage is 100. Now study, we have already listed different type of windows. So you take one type of window and try to find its effectiveness for different, for example, light. You study how much light this type of window will emit, or there will be lot of reduction as far as level of light is concerned. Then whether it will the block sun rays or there controlling the sun rays will be possible, or solar heat will be possible, or once you shut the window everything will be blocked, once you open the window there is no control, everything will be allowed. Then you study and analyze as far as wind is concerned. Then ventilation. So on considering all these parameters, then for each parameter, we have assumed there are 10 parameters, give how much this type of window will receive out of 10 for ventilation, for rain, as far as control is concerned, ease in operation, view, flexibility, and security. Then at the end, do the sum up total and find out how many marks it has obtained out of 10 parameters, 10 marks each out of 100. This will show us the functional efficiency of this particular type of window. After finding all or analyze performance of different type of windows as far as these functional parameters there, then we can find out okay, this particular window is 40% functional efficiency. This window is with 45%. Particular window is with 50%. Sometimes window is 60%, 70%, 80%. Now based on that, we can classify depending on your choice. Uh, Excellent, very good, good, great. Then other thing we have to 80% is considered favorable. And so we can classify it, and below 30% is functional efficiency. Let's say up to 50% you can get. So like that we can see percentage of depth of window by making a matrix, by finding out and providing allotting a suitable weightages of their operation and performance against each parameter in an order to calculate their functional efficiency. Then based I have collected and compared the performance of different type of windows. My study suggests that Now, this is the hierarchical order, most suitable type of window that provides maximum control over different climatic elements at any given time is adjustable horizontal louvered window. Oh, keep in mind, when I say louvered window, they are opaque, solid, opaque louvers, not glass. Adjustable vertical louver windows choice. Side hinge window, commonly till recent times, these were the very commonly used window side hinge, side hung windows or slashes window. Now we are using more sliding windows. But before that, side hinge window is very commonly used. The advantage is by opening shutter at particular angle, you can admit light, wind, etc. to required level. Then suppose direction of the wind flow and the facade is parallel to each other. That will never enter inside. But opening the shutter at 45 degree, that shutter will act as wind catcher and it will divert that wind instead. So such operations were possible with this type of window. There is a centrally pivoted window. Okay, as far as hierarchical order of my studies, the communication is concerned, I heading and fold window, then vertical centrally pivoted window, top hinge window, and side sliding or top sliding window. That means, in my opinion, after undertaking studies with justified reason, the type of window which is most popular today is not at all, it has a lot of limitations. Firstly, as I was telling you earlier, if you open it, everything is open, there is no control. If you close, except the sun, if it is glazed and view, other elements will be blocked. Secondly, opening complete window at any given time is not possible. Only part of window can be opened because shutter either will be on this side or that side or in the center. So it does not provide you much control. Whereas adjustable horizontal window, even top hung window, though it is not my study does not, but you see when we have top hung window, you do not require in general separate shading device or chaja at little level or at the top. In opening position, the shutter itself acts as a shading device, blocking the sun rays or driving radiance. Similarly, friends, when maximum in my study shows maximum control is provided by adjustable horizontal louvered window with solid opaque louvers. You can adjust the angle of louvers to your requirement. Every control is possible. If you keep horizontally, it will block sun rays but provide you outside view. It will provide ventilation and air movement, etc., and block your driving lane also. Yes, if you turn them upward, then it may even allow sun rays inside. So depending on your requirement, you can adjust the angle of these lowers to your benefit. Okay, friend, that is my study and my recommendation. Then even opening can be used, friend, for good purposes through ventilation. I will give you one example. Just assume there is a classroom in a school, and this calculation will be useful when you want to use some, say, fan or some cooling mechanical device to cool down through ventilation. So this calculation, so we should know even for calculating the load on the AC. Such calculation we must know how to calculate to reduce so that reduce we can reduce minimize load on our mechanical electrical devices. You assume a classroom is there in a school with and the volume is 200 meter cube and has 50 children and each children is generating 90 watt heat due to metabolism. Then there is one grown up teacher, young teacher, his body is generating 100 watt approximately. Then there is some projecting device, I have written TV set, or some projecting device is here who is 250 watt weighted. It is contributing. Then solar radiation of 2500 watt is transmitted inside through roof and walls. Okay. Then this is direct. Then further 1600 watt of diffuse radiation, that is daylight, is reflected from ground and other surrounding surfaces, and it is entering inside through windows. So, but the outside temperature is 25 degrees Celsius, which is quite comfortable. Within, very much within comfort zone, within upper limit recommended upper and lower limit. Then friend, we must calculate number of air changes or in terms of cubic meter air per hour, per minute or per second, which we require to maintain the inside temperature to this 25 degrees. Now, what has happened because of all this heat gain, the inside temperature has increased to 30 degrees Celsius. And all the 1600, 2500, 250 watts, all these are responsible for this increase of uh, temperature up to 30 degrees. That is, earlier it was 25 degree outside temperature, inside temperature is 30 degree. So this 5 degree difference, all these, the sum of all these heat gain is responsible for this degree increase in temperature. Our aim should be to remove this 5 degree so that internal temperature will also be comfortable. So friend, rate of ventilation can be calculated with following method. It is simple formula is there. Room volume multiplied by air changes. Air changes per hour. Okay. Now, all of us know that ventilation is calculated, also calculated in terms of air changes. It is all standards are there. Kitchen must have so many air changes. Room should have air changes. Office should have so much air changes. A popular industry where a lot of heat is in, so toilets should have so many air changes per hour. These standards are there. So, room volume, in our case 200, multiplied by air changes give you cubic meter of air required per hour. Okay. Then friend, here what we are doing, we are with the help of ventilation, we want to increase heat loss to bring down the temperature back to 25 degrees Celsius through ventilation. So friend, the formula is specific heat of air, that is 1200, please remember. Specific heat of air multiplied by air changes per hour multiplied by volume of the room multiplied by temperature difference between outside and inside. In our case, it is 5 degrees. Is it not? I hope remember. So we want to calculate it here, capital N. What is capital N? Number air changes. That it will result how many air changes will be required To nullify this 500 gain, 5 sorry, this 5 degree centigrade gain as well as increase in temperature. So friend, all this 5 degree, that means this wattage is responsible. So sum of this total is 8,950 watt. We have given you 50 students, each student is generating 90 watt to 50 multiplied 90, 4,000. One teacher and his watt is generate watt to 1 multiplied by 100 watt, so and so forth. Total is 8,950. Other electrical, mechanical, and transfer of the heat through roof and walls, etc. Total comes to 8,950. Then friend, in order to keep like 25 degrees Celsius, we must equate this heat gain equal to rate of ventilation, total ventilation. So, because this heat gain has to be nullified. So, 8,950 is equal to 0.33 multiplied by number of air changes multiplied by 200 multiplied by 30 minus 23 outside temperature is temperature. What 8,050 is responsible for increase in 5 days. That, yeah. What point 3? 0.33 is air. Specific heat of the air is 1200. Okay, number of air changes per hour. If you want to convert air changes into per second instead of per hour, we will have to divide it at 33,600. That is 1200 divided by 3600 will be 0.33. This is 3G. You put all those values inside and do the calculation. So the value of n, that is number of changes, therefore required number of air changes n equal to 8,950 divided by 330. That comes to 27 changes per hour. This is per hour. In 1 hour, total volume, total air inside for 200 cubic meter of workload, 2,200 cubic meter of air must be changed 27 times. To keep the temperature, to reduce the temperature, to decrease the temperature, to bring it down to 25 degrees Celsius. So friend, volume of airflow, this is per hour. If you want to select a fan or something and the output is given in terms of per second, so divided by 3600, 1.5 meter cube air will be needed per second. Select suitable electromechanical fan or suitable ventilation fan which will with the output of around this little more. This is the method, friend, how we can calculate. And friend, don't you refer books, everything is there. This is not, this is not my contribution, it is already there. Then friend, this shows, these figures shows air movement within the room in respect to the position of opening. Just remember, inlet, from inlet, the position of the inlet will govern the entry of the air. Then, ultimately, the outside decide from where, how it will move and from where it will leave the room, go out of the room. So friend, there are three main reasons for the sake of ventilation. Either we can push the air, which will replace the inside air and throw it out. Another is first suck the inside air so that outside air will rush inside. Third is balance system. Both mechanical devices we can use for throwing and for entry of the fresh air. Ventilation means change of Use outside warm air with fresh outside clean air. Inside air should be changed with outside air, that is called ventilation. Friend, the number one sketch towards left shows single opening. This is highly ineffective because same opening will act as an inlet and outlet, and hardly one sixth of the depth of the room will be get benefited. Then, when one window is one corner of the room, another window is another corner of the room, more window, more area of the room will come under air circulation. Even when two windows like this is acting, front side window is acting as a inlet, and in the same alignment, in the same corner, another window is. Then only this portion of the room will get benefited. So more number of windows on different walls, with particularly when they are away from each other, will generate or will provide, will bring more area under air circulation. Friend, there is a simple method shown here, but otherwise I will explain that when the window you have, this is section. Okay, all these are sections. We can also imagine them as a plant, no problem. And when you have more dead surface below the window, in that case, more pressure will be generated by the area above the window, and it will divert the wind inside towards in opposite direction, that is towards so that's what we want, because most of the time we are on the so we want wind movement to achieve benefit of convection, convective cooling, and both physiological cooling. We want wind movement at body. So either wind source should be horizontal, or as far as possible, if it is like diverted towards slope, preferable. Yes, the area more beat up by. And if the area is our below level, let me it is available above the as shown is the descent, left side with less aid above the window, more area below the window. If we divert the direction or divert the words needed, this is referred in so occupied land, and we have shops, we have this situation should be avoided. Our aim should be to divert the wind side towards lower end. You have both and no equal area. Then direction inside will be given. And at the it takes the position or it gets diverted towards the outside. Friend, the problem with our normal window shading devices, which shows central right hand position on the left hand side wall, you have the opening with a normal shading device, that is horizontal solid shaded or shading device. Now with the presence of this shading device, friends, the catchment area or the dead surface available above the lintel level or above the opening gets zero. When it turns, then the only available test surface or catchment area for the wind is below the window. And larger the surface area, it diverts the wind inside in opposite direction. So this of wind will divert the wind for healing, which we do not want. What is the solution? Provide a between ball and the chacha. Or do not use solid chacha, use trellis or lower chacha which have other benefits also. You'll see later on. To increase catchment area, if you want to increase more, instead of railing on terrace, provide solid parapet wall. Diversion of the wind inside the room towards door. So this is a method called parallelogram method to predict wind direction of wind movement inside. I hope you have understood. Friend, this shows we can ignore the effect of direction and velocity of natural wind, position of openings and impeachment as normal or coming at certain angle. So, friend, another thing is again comes under ventilation. Openings we use for ventilation and supply of fresh air. Then one phenomena we can remember and take advantage of this phenomena. Friends, with the exposure of the upper surface to the solar radiation and other conditions, lot of thermal changes are taking place on the surface. But at the depth of 4 meters or more, conditions are unchanged. Thermal changes taking place on the surface are not affecting the condition inside at the depth of 4 meter or and that temperature at the depth of 4 meter or more remains within comfort zone. So let us take advantage of this phenomenon. What we can do, friend, we can provide air tunnels using pipes, cement pipes called U pipes or metal tunnels. If they are metal tunnels, we will have to insulate them for heat gain, and we must protect them against corrosion by suitably painting, etc. And we can use a zigzag pattern to increase the time for which this air will remain inside through this tunnel. Outlet will be above the ground level with due care that no insects, no reptile, or even water should not enter inside. Otherwise, that will be another headache. Then, friend, after remaining this air underground for considerable period, it will become quite cool. Then it can be supplied through openings at various functional areas at various levels, and to retain some speed, we can have a fan also at the outlet. Whatever I have explained here, it is in the proper wording here. Then we can say this shows the section. This shows the passage of tunnel, whereas this central white color shows zigzag pattern. Increase the length of the pipeline or duct, underground duct provided at the depth of 4 meters, and this 4 meter depth light as we come from ground floor to first or that diameter of the duct or size of the duct will go on reducing because amount of quantity of the air will go on reducing. Then here in the enlarged section I put a phone also, fan also to retain some velocity. Then this inlet of the duct is bent downward for obvious reasons to provide any entry of garbage etc. inside. So this is called underground tunneling system for supplying cool air inside. Another for inlet, another suitable position could be on sidewall of a well in case you have it in the premises. You see, friend, because of the equipment, cool air being heavier, it is trapped in the well. It cannot escape because it is heavy. So we can have our inlet. We can suck this air from the well, but care has to be taken that you must study the maximum upper level of the water, including the season, so that and through this stuff. Okay, this you have to keep in mind, and this is a very effective system. But only thing, this work must be integrated when construction starts. Later on, if you want to incorporate it should be relationship, that ducting will have to be provided in your side margins, front margin, rear margin, possible. But it will be much more easy if you in just you start. Now, friend, to shape, form, and configuration of different type of net or illustration or vector, and also different type of design shape form for your device. This diagram are is complicated, so we will take our time in going through this diagram. I have a better diagram later on. We will study. What you can remember only, don't treat openings and shading devices as mere elements to decorate your elevations. No, they are functional and very useful element. Treat them accordingly. Then try to make the elevation out of fun. Remember, functional are always beautiful. Try to enjoy beauty in simplicity. Friend, particular most pattern or type of shading devices above the home. Most of our windows are rectangular accordingly to shading device. This shading device depending on the position of the sun in respect to opening will form a shadow pattern. And as sun moves, shadow also moves. But it is always our common observation. If you pay and if you little observing keenly, you will find that all the other portion of the window will always expose to sun. The shading device is not providing shade or not shading the complete window as given. Part of the portion on this side or that side is remain open. Trying to describe is that depending on I'm trying to find out the oh, yeah, what I'm trying to see here that depend on the shadow pattern, either we should decide the shape of the window or depending on considering the shape of the window should design shading devices to keep the maximum portion of window in shade. Now friend here shading of the window and sun energy. Now left hand side or you can show side shows it facing that it facing the opposite direction, just opposite sun will be there. At low horizontal shading device will be highly ineffective. Okay, but when sun comes above the horizon, now normally friends, please let me tell you key messages sometimes that we are difficulty connected outside don't have any control. You cannot do problem. You have to solve a mathematics helps. We cannot do. So please try. Absolutely, you may find. Okay. But as the sun comes on, more so to angle normally travels from east to west via south. Considering traveling from to west via south, bounding condition for the east facing wall, this is control. This triangle, angular portion will be exposed to sun. Okay? Then, and here the additional is getting shade on the other side. But friend, yes, mic is on. Okay. Then for a window on southern side, when the sun will be in southeast direction during late morning, this triangular portion will be exposed to sun. During afternoon, this triangular portion will be exposed to sun, but this central triangular portion will always remain in shade. Okay. Morning condition, this portion will be in shade. In the noon, this portion, triangular portion will be in shade, whereas corners will be exposed to sun. During morning, east side triangular portion will be exposed. During afternoon or before evening, west side triangular portion will be exposed. Then friend, for window facing west, the triangular portion towards south will remain exposed to solar radiation, inviting heat gain. It is when we are using normal horizontal shifting devices. Now, friend, my suggestion is keeping the pattern of the shadow and keeping in mind the portion of window which will be in shade. Let us decide the shape of the window. So, from the above consideration, we can say east side window, this portion is exposed to the sun, south side. So, our window should be in this shape. We should follow the pattern of shadow, and this part always remain in shade. So, our window, most suitable shape for our window facing east should be this. Whereas for this or the bottom one, this. Whereas for southern window, morning and afternoon, triangular portion will be exposed to sun and central triangular portion will remain in shade all the time. So let our window shape follow that portion, shape of that portion, which will remain in shade for most of the time. So the above triangular shape or the bottom triangular shape, this one we can adopt for our window shape. Same thing will happen for window towards west side. Just this triangle should be in opposite direction compared to east side, and we should provide or adopt the shape that portion we should follow, which will always remain in shape. So this is the most functional shape for the window, keeping in mind the shadow pattern created by this shading devices. Okay, then what we have here, yeah, this is the same thing. We will come to this later on. So this study, now if you want, no, I want to retain the same type of window, I don't want to change the shape of my window, then friend do one thing. For east side facing window, extend this extreme corner of shading device or extend this shadow. This point must be straight toward south up to this point so that whole portion will be shaded. So extend your shading device towards south. In the west, extend your shading device towards again towards south or south facing wall. Extend your shading device beyond the window line, both toward east and toward west, so that whole window will come in shade. Otherwise, you have other option. Provide vertical shading devices. You will need for southern face both the side vertical shading devices. For east side, vertical shading devices is to be provided towards south. For west side, again vertical shading device is to be provided towards south. So what I am trying to suggest, friend, here is either design shading devices keeping in mind the size and shape of your window, or provide window keeping in mind the shade or shadow pattern provided by a typical or particular shading device. Then friend, these show the different type of shading devices where we were this year. Recommended design guidelines. To have fairly good idea about the likely daylight level at a point under consideration, provide trellis, louvered or collapsible convertible shading devices for penetration. Convertible or adjustable shading devices are very useful. Avoid solid shading such as at little level. Provide large openings towards north direction and less or small opening toward hot direction as uh, like west, southwest. Avoid large openings towards east and particularly towards west. Avoid large openings towards west and east and particularly towards west. In case necessary, provide small suitably shaded openings. Except during winter, block entry of direct sun inside not only for thermal reason but also for protection against glare. 7. Avoid direct view of high sky except near the horizon and view up to 32 degrees from the horizon can be permitted as that portion of sky will produce less glare. Avoid green cover over lands face exposed to sun and visible from inside to minimize the effect of your glare. Avoid excess contrast and paint walls around window with light shade. Excess contrast is there. It will have more adverse effect as well as glare is concerned. Paint window frame white or with other light shade because outside is bright. So there should not be contrast. So provide window frame with light, color or shade. Distribute the evenly or complete wall width so that light distribution and ventilation also will be evenly distributed. White horizontal window distribute daylight over large area. High vertical window or separate high level window allow deep penetration of daylight. If you want deep penetration, if room is having considerable depth and you expect light to reach at the end also, then window, separate window or the same window should be provided or it must be with more height or separate window should be provided at high level. One provide vertical high window, particularly when single side lit deep rooms are there. Provide more number of small size windows than single large size windows so that you operate as per your requirement. Use windows that provide well control over different climatic elements, including to increase level of daylight inside, provide light shades over wall and ceiling. To increase level of daylight, we must have light shade inside, over wall and ceiling. For visual comfort, luminance ratio between central field, background, and the environment. Central field means the main object. Background, environment means surrounding, should have 5 is to 2 is to 1. Maximum light is on the main object. Then background should be 2, 1 is to 2 is to 5 should be the ratio. Ensure minimum nominal value over not less than 80% of the floor area. Then, for single side lit room, take reference point for the daylight design at 4/5 depth of the room to calculate that sufficient daylight for study purposes. This is the distance recommended where you should consider your point of observation to consider whether this room will receive enough daylight or not. Then use daylight or day tubes, etc., for increase level of daylight. Right. As per the shading, we were just studying shading devices. Shape and form, we have studied how to design. They protect building interiors and occupiers against unfavorable extreme climatic condition outside. This is the role of the shading device. To cut the undesired visual link between inside and outside. In addition, there are several more functions. Evaluation of shading devices. They are horizontal shading devices, vertical shading devices, combination of horizontal and vertical shading devices, then detached second skin, like grill, trellis, pergolas, etc. Then adjustable or folding shading devices. Then every type of shading devices has uh, some limitation, like horizontal shading device will not be effective against low level sun. So you will have to go for uh, lures, horizontal lures, or rather inclined lures. Inclined lures can be oriented towards one direction, or it can be oriented towards lower level, towards ground. To
Sir,
block
can we?
sun. Yes.
Yes, sir. 5 minutes are remaining.
No, we will take little longer.
Till what? Because session ends, so we have to extend the timing.
Shading devices, horizontal shading devices, every type of shading devices have their own limitation. These are the various type of shading devices. Adjustable shading devices are more useful. Second skin is also very useful, and most preferred shading devices in my opinion are they are folding shading devices, particularly with insulated cover which will not become itself too hot. Okay, whatever the limitation vertical shading devices and horizontal shading devices have can be solved with combination of horizontal and vertical shading devices. Friends, these are the different type of shading devices. In brief, before I conclude, we will just discuss how to calculate projection of the shading devices. Please, friends, after this, we will stop. It is important, otherwise, it will not be possible to cover this portion. Friend, solve the example. Calculate projection of horizontal and vertical shading devices at any given time. Just assume these are the assumptions. Required to shade at 9:30 a.m. You can consider any time, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, or any other time. Okay, on April 15. So you can select friend time also, you can select date also. For a window size 1000 wide, that is 1 meter wide, and 1.2 meter high opening. in a wall facing northeast direction. Northeast, okay? Now, friend, please remember, located at 21 degree latitude. If it is located at 21 north degree latitude, select a solar chart, suitable solar chart. You can refer a solar chart for 20 degree north latitude. Okay? And use to have to calculate your protection of shading devices and to obtain various values which we can directly read from solar chart. And also let it be very clear. Its shape is all the azimuth angles are measured from north direction. So it can be measured from any other direction also. We can use any direction as reference, but for our convenience, better everyone decide that north the angle should be measured from north direction. It will be easy. There will not be any confusion. So when remember, if wall is facing north direction, the wall azimuth angle will be 0. Okay. If it is facing northeast direction, the solar azimuth angle will be 45 degrees. If it is facing south direction, solar azimuth angle will be 90 degrees, and so on. So it is calculated from north direction and between the direction your facade or window or wall is facing. This can be calculated. This is solar azimuth angle. Okay. Stepwise methodology, friend. Please, as I had asked you, if you have, keep your everything ready: pencil, pen, subpart diagram for 20 degree, and your calculator. Select solar chart for the station under consideration, that is 21 degree north. In our case, you can refer 20 degree north solar chart. Okay? Then, friend, itself it is given 9:30 a.m. the time and April 15 is the date. Then you have line for April, you have line for March. So draw another line in between March and April line. That will be for March 15. Okay. Otherwise, we will have to change this date, keep it 15 or whatever you want. Mark intersection of April 15 date line and 9:30 a.m. timeline on solar chart. Small curvilinear lines are timelines. Long curvilinear lines from east to west are the date line. Okay. So mark the intersection of these two lines, that is date line 15 April and timeline, that is 9:30 am. From the concentric circle, read solar altitude angle, that is gamma. You see, wherever our intersection is there of date and timeline, mark that position and see which is the closest concentric circle to this point, and find out approximately the solar altitude angle, and check. When I had used this, it is around 53 degrees. Do you agree with me? So solar azimuth, wall azimuth angle was 45 degree. Solar altitude angle gamma is 53 degree. This is that 13 degree. This is another chart. Okay. Okay, friend. I hope it is around 50 degree in your solar chart also. Then note it down on your paper. Then, friend, join center point of the chart with marked intersection of the date and timeline and extend this line up to external periphery of the solar chart. And read the angle measuring from north direction. This will be the solar azimuth angle alpha, or here I have used A for alpha. Solar azimuth alpha, read it, and it is around 98 degree measured from north direction. I hope you are in the position to measure this angle. This is a solar azimuth angle between north direction and the line connecting centers with intersection of month and timeline and extension of the same line up to external periphery. With this point is measured from north direction, it will be 98 degree. This is called solar azimuth angle. Wall azimuth angle was 45 degree. This is the 98 degree. Okay, note it down on the paper. Then friends, the difference between these two, 98 and 45, how much it will be? Array friend, it is coming 53. It is just coincident that both the angles are 50. It is 53 or 58. Okay, just whatever is the angle, note it down. Okay, then friend, we are required to calculate a vertical shadow angle in an order to find out projection of horizontal shadow angle, and we are required to calculate horizontal shadow angle in an order to calculate projection of vertical shading devices. Again, to refresh your memory, we will see what are these different angles. Friend, now you can see this is the sun. This angle between sun, point of observation and sun, and the line connecting point of observation with position of the sun on horizon, it is called solar altitude angle, denoted by gamma. Then friend, this line connecting point of observation with position of the sun and north direction is denoted by alpha, that is solar azimuth. Then friend, the direction to which your wall is facing, it is east. The direction of the wall, in our case, it is south, northeast probably. In our case, if it is northeast, then the direction of the sun and north direction is called wall azimuth angle. In our case, that is 45 degree. In this case, diagram, wall is facing east direction, so wall azimuth case in this direction is, in our case, it is 40. So friend, the difference between solar azimuth angle and wall azimuth angle is denoted by delta. Delta is called horizontal shadow angle, which we require very much to calculate projection of vertical shading devices. To find out the difference between our solar azimuth angle and wall azimuth angle, irrespective of which angle is larger, which angle is smaller. You just find out the difference and mark horizontal shading angle delta is equal to this much. Okay, friend? Then, once you have calculated, then, friend, remaining angles required to be calculated are, you see, the wall azimuth angle, in this case 90, in our case, whatever it is, minus delta will give you this angle value represented here theta. I have used probably q or some other letter for this angle. Once you get this angle, then this projection of shading devices can be calculated easily. Similarly, friend, once you get this angle, that is sigma or epsilon, once you get this angle, epsilon or sigma, you can calculate value of theta. This is called vertical angle, which is denoted by sigma. 90 minus sigma will give you the value of theta or q. I have used the word q for this angle. Once you get the value of q, then this projection of horizontal shading device to block the sun, to stop the sun at particular time and particular month of the year can be calculated from. Okay, let us go back where we were. This was required to be remembered by you, which is which angle is what. You have noted down, okay? Now, friend, the angle, vertical schedule angle I have told you, that is sigma, can be calculated with uh, this formula. This shows the projection formula is, I will tell you the formula. Yeah, here. From the solve gamma 53 degree, then we have calculated wall azimuth angle 45 degree. Then vertical shadow angle sigma. I have used the word E here or epsilon. Sigma can be calculated from the relationship or from the equation 10 of sigma is equal to 10 of solar altitude angle multiplied by sec of horizontal shadow angle. That is the difference between wall azimuth and solar delta. I have used D. Okay. So find out the difference between wall azimuth angle and solar azimuth angle. You have already value of solar altitude angle, that is gamma. So find out the value of the E, that is epsilon or vertical shadow angle. Find out the value, how much it comes. As per my calculation, the value of sigma or vertical shadow angle will be 2.2051. Therefore, E is equal to 65.610, value of vertical shadow angle. Now, friend, as I have shown you, you want value of theta to calculate required projection. So value of theta will be 90 minus 60.161 or 90 minus 65, that will be around 35 degrees. Okay, so now let us calculate projection of shading device. Once you have these many values, now things become easy. How we can calculate projection of shading devices? Now, depending on point of observation, for example, you are calculating vertical projection of vertical shading device and you want to shade the complete window. Then the whole width of the window will be shadowed. If you want to complete only half of the window, you want to keep only half of the window in shade, then shadow length will be only half of the window width, that is 0.6. It's up to us. If you want to keep in shade complete facade, then the facade dimension will be shadowed. Similarly, for horizontal shading device, if you want to shade complete window, then height of the window will be shadowed to shade only half, then half of the height of the window. It is our decision. Okay, friend. So yes, for theta I have used q here. So theta value of theta will be 90 minus epsilon or vertical shadow angle. It comes to 24.39. Note down theta equal to, or in this case q. is equal to 24.39. Therefore, projection of horizontal shading device is height of the window. That means we want to shade total window. Shadow length will be, or projection of the will equal to shadow length, that is 1.20 meter, divided by cot of theta, that is cot of q. You feel 1.2 divided by 24.39 will give you the projection of horizontal shading device. As per my calculation, it is coming 0.544 meter, very much practically possible. I am using the word very much practically possible because, friend, sometimes you may come across condition where the solar sun was at lower altitude angle and you want to protect that sun from using horizontal shading device. Mathematically, when you calculate, it will come some 3 meter, 4 meter, something like that, or may not be able to. Then your shutter might enter the neighboring property or on the road. That is not practically possible. Then you will have to go for other solutions like providing vertical shading devices or horizontal shading devices, or divide height of the window into 3-4 parts and provide smaller shading devices. Performance of the single more protect our devices and the projection of smaller, less protecting our devices is same. Okay. Then friend, projection of vertical shading device. Again, we have calculated shadow length, whole width of the window or half width, that's up to us. Then quite of cot of again theta or q. How much I have told you? 90 minus delta. What is delta? The difference between wall azimuth and shadow, that is horizontal shadow angle. So 90 minus delta will give you the value of Q, that is 90 minus 53, 37 degrees. So, my dear friend, shadow length is equal to 1.00, that is window width. Okay, so vertical shading device projection is 1 divided by cot of 37. 37 is value of q or theta. So it comes vertical shading device projection will be 7.75, that is 2 feet 6 inches. Okay, horizontal shading device projection will be less. Projection of vertical shading device is more to protect the window against solar radiation in the month of April, to be exact 15th of April at 9:30 a.m. This is the solved example, my dear friend. Remember one thing, it is 9:30. That means 2.5 hours before 12 o'clock. Okay. So this shading device will be effective up to 2.5 hours after 12 o'clock in the afternoon. That is 2:30. If you want, no sir, I want to protect shading device at 3 o'clock also, then you will have to change the time. Separately calculate for the western facade and find out the solar altitude angle, solar azimuth angle at 3 o'clock, that is 15 hours, and calculate. So friend, at 9 o'clock, the altitude angle, that is 3 hours before noon, and at 3 o'clock, that is 3 hours after 12 o'clock, will be same, only direction will be different. Similarly, at 8 o'clock or at 4 p.m., morning 8 o'clock and 4 p.m. will be same. Projection will be same, and this projection will save your window from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock. If you want up to 5 o'clock, then you will have to again calculate separately for Western, Western society. So, friend, in case decide to reduce projection of vertical shading device, width of the window may be divided into two with one more vertical shading device in the center. This will reduce protection of each vertical shading device to 0.337. And friend, this shows how to decide our reverse direction and orientation of the mover. It is very easy. Again, from solar chart, particular facade will receive sun from which side, and you orient your mover to different position on different facade, studying from the point of view of position of the sun from solar chart, and study when it will be blocked, when it will be allowed to enter. Keeping in mind the maximum blockage at the when daytime temperature of is maximum, you decide the orientation of your shading, vertical shading devices or zoomers. Okay, friend. This is very simple. Only thing you should try.
Sir, session will end in 2 minutes automatically.
Why?
No, that is set for 2 hours. So it
Okay.
automatically is get close.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I will finish. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, friend. Because our timings are set like this. I will finish today's session. Remaining portion we will see and try to cover tomorrow. In case of any question, please set in your box. Thank you very much. Take care and bye. Goodbye till tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.